First of all, I want to say that I'm honored to be here in Australia at this conference, and I'm sending you the revolutionary regards from the Greek Sek, Adarsia, and Kefa. So I hope we can discuss after the openings everything you'd like. I'll try in these 20 minutes to describe the situation and the period we are facing in Greece the last year. What is happening since the summer of 2015 in Greece is a massive, the most massive flow of refugees, the biggest since the Second World War. Refugees who tried to escape from the bombings of the imperialists in Syria from Assad and ISIS. Despite the propaganda of the mass media, the days in the summer last year, all the Islamophobic cliches that they are terrorists, they are jihadists that are coming in our country. What happened is that a massive solidarity movement were organized from below, firstly in the islands, and then in the main countries, in Athens, in Salonika, in Piraeus, and the many places in Greece. What actually happened is that firstly, all the governments in the European Union were forced to open the borders, first of all because of the willing of the refugees. It was amazing watching the refugees taking this huge trip from Syria to Turkey, from the Turkey coast into Greece, and then wanting to continue their trip to other countries in Europe. And so the first thing was the willing of the refugees. It was a real image watching refugees opening the borders with their naked bodies, by any means necessary, when they were doing that. And the second thing was the massive solidarity movement. What happened these days, and now these days, that is this summer again in Greece, and refugees are still coming again from Turkey, is that you could see in islands, for example, Lesbos is the most closest island in the Turkey coast. People from the island getting down in the beach into the frozen waters of the Aegean Sea, taking the refugees out of the small boats they were coming, and they were traveling from the Turkey coast, in order to take them home. They cooked together, they even organized something like a solidarity village in the beach with a small hospital, with teachers trying to teach children some Greeks. And it was an amazing image that continued and into the main cities in the country. In Athens, what happened is that the student camps at the main port in Athens, in Piraeus. And in Salonika, the same thing, and in other many places. What we did with the refugees were many demonstrations inside the cities, because the government wanted to make these concentration camps outside of the main cities, and we traveled together into the cities. We demonstrated outside the parliament, outside the local authorities, the municipality place, and even in the 1st of May, the Workers' Day, it was amazing watching hundreds of refugees demonstrating with the Greek workers against austerity, against racism, and against Islamophobia. It was an amazing, amazing image. The refugees for what they really are as workers, because that's what they are. And this is the first thing we want to make clear. It's not humanism being with the refugees and the immigrants. It's part of our class, and that's why we treated them as a part of our class. First of all, they're fighters. They know what to do. They have experience. They organized the revolution in Syria. Here we have in our magazine, our last magazine, a perfect article and interview from a basic Syrian refugee who describes how they organized the revolution in Syria and how they traveled from Syria to Greece, what they faced, the racism, all the bureaucracy in order to take the asylum. So we did this all together. It was a perfect experience. that I would say it got major on the 19th of March this year, when we organized a day against racism and the fascist threat in the whole Europe, one day after the sign of the agreement between European and Turkey. And I will come to this again. So that's, there's a research in Greece. It was a research these days, despite the media and the government that were saying that we can't afford them. We don't have jobs because we are the Greece of the economic crisis, which is getting bigger and bigger. They're going to bring illnesses. So many racist attacks and arguments against the refugees. And there was a research that showed that the 85% of the people in Greece supported the refugees, and more than 50% of the Greek people helped them in the practical terms, by giving them clothes, taking them in the houses, even unions. This is a big difference in Greece. Unions collected money, collected food, collected clothes, and they were taking them with their unions into the concentration camps for the refugees. So, despite this picture of the solidarity movement, the European Union decided to close the borders and to harden more and more the policy against the refugees. And our government, our new left government, Alexis Tsipras, and the leader of the party that is in the government now, Syriza, signed with the European and the Turkey and Merkel the infamous agreement. It is a shame that the next day, Tsipras said in the parliament that this is the best solution, this is the more radical solution for the problems of the refugees. That meant that he hardened the measures against the refugees even more in Greece. First of all, we had Frontex, it's the European militant police force to stop the refugees from coming from Turkey and Greece. And what they decided is to bring NATO into the sea of Aegean and the Mediterranean water. The total death of that is 3,000 dead refugees in the cold waters of Mediterranean and the Aegean Sea. I was in an issue before and I saw this tragic image of a small island who was at the coast that he was drowned. And that's the truth, that the closed borders cost the lives of thousands of refugees in Greece who tried to come in Greece and continue their trip. This agreement meant more measures against the refugees. If someone is lucky and he's not drowned, because there were thousands that were drowned, they get into concentration camps that are controlled by the police and the army. What the Minister of Immigration did lately, 2 months ago, it was that he made more difficult for the refugees to take for the asylum applications to be accepted. And this is a very cruel measure our government took. And now they're all under the threat of violently deportation back to Turkey. Imagine Turkey these days after the coup, where the things are very bad inside Turkey, and they have the nerve in the European Union saying that it is a secure country for the refugees. So, and another thing that happened lately, before I come to Australia, actually, 1 week ago before I come, was that it was the first time that the police raided into buildings, into occupied buildings, by the refugees and the solidarity movement, and took them out violently. And this, I'm afraid, is going to continue. It's the first time they use the police to get into the occupations. And so what we have to do is to continue the struggle against racism and Islamophobia in Greece and in whole Europe. And I want to start a little bit, because we had the discussion before. it is a big duty for the left to fight racism and Islamophobia. We know racism in Greece, especially when it started to be used from the governments. It was since 2010 when the crisis started, the economic crisis started to get bigger and bigger. They wanted to use the immigrants and the refugees to manipulate the working class and say that they are responsible for the loss of jobs and the situation in Greece. And we have to face it because racism is an ideology that wants to divide the working class. And KERFA, SEK, the anti-capitalist left and the revolutionary left in Greece, we made and we're still making a great effort to smash these ideas, these racist ideas, into the minds of the workers. And the second thing is that Islamophobia, the new face of racism these days, targets the Muslims, and the left has to be very, very careful for what it's doing against Islamophobia. We have the bad example the previous year. In France, for example, what happened with the headscarf of the Muslim women into the schools, or after Charlie Hebdo, even in Greece, it was a confusion into the left. What are you talking about? What are you saying about the attacks? If there are terrorists, if there are jihadists, and why the imperialists and the ruling class is using racism and Islamophobia to invade into the countries of the Middle East. So we have to be extremely careful about giving the fight against racism and Islamophobia. And that is what KERFA is trying to do. Taking lots of initiatives inside the workers' movement, inside the students' movement, in the neighborhoods, everywhere to smash these ideas. There were plenty of initiatives, but I want to share with you the biggest, in my opinion, that had the biggest influence into the workers' movement. It was an initiative we took on January this year, 2016, to travel to the northern border in Greece, the border with Macedonia, in order to demonstrate against the infamous fence in Evros. Evros is a river that there is the borders with Macedonia. And there is a fence, a 20-kilometer fence, with a cable from NATO. It is forbidden, to be honest. This cable shouldn't be in any fence, in any border, because it catches a human being as a fish when you try to catch a fish. And as much as you're trying to get out of this fence, you're getting more injured. And this cost the lives of hundreds of refugees who tried to come from Turkey and Greece. If Tsipras and the government would open the borders in Evros, they wouldn't have to travel from the coast of Turkey in the Greek islands. They wouldn't have to use boats. They would come with buses from a legal path to go and continue. And those who would like to stay in Greece, they would stay in Greece. And be alive, to be honest, because this is the big problem we have. But Tsipras closed the borders, and it was an initiative very important to get into the working places and ask for the workers to support this two-day mobilization by financial support and by sending people from the working places there. It was incredible watching people from the seamen who a few days ago were on strike against the privatization, workers from hospitals, workers from the schools, teachers, and even the private sector. Idracom is a very well-known company of community, of mobile community, communication, traveling with us and supporting the two-day rally. These days, the 23rd and the 24th of January, there was the same day a rally in Calais in order of solidarity to the movement who traveled in Evros. And it was amazing because even the comrades from Turkey organized a demo in Istanbul that day and at the borders that connects Turkey and Greece. So that was a huge thing, and now this is what we have to do in order to continue this battle. Kerfa and the anti-capitalist left tries to make this combination of the fight backs against Syriza government, the political battle with economical battle. It's like what Rosa Luxemburg was saying, that there is no sink walls between the economical and the political fights. We want the workers who fight against cuts and privatizations and looking for jobs and, against when they fire them and they want their jobs back, to be the best anti-racist fighters and anti-fascist fighters. And now Kerfa is organized a big campaign. We call it Open Borders, Open Cities. This is the main campaign we are running now with Kerfa as far as the refugees problem is concerned. And first of all, we want backup from the demand of opening the borders, not only in Greece, but in the whole Europe. And we are it is very hopeful that what happened with Brexit, what's going on now in Spain and in other European cities, we're going to have a mass solidarity movement which will achieve this goal. The second thing is that we want to open the cities. It is a crucial time now. The borders are closed, so we don't want the refugees to be in ghettos outside the cities. We want them with equal terms as us, as the workers in the cities, to be there. So we have three main demands in this campaign. First of all, we demand shelter for the refugees. It's the most important thing. I was watching yesterday in the internet what's going on now in the concentration camps. Now, as during the summer in Greece, it's 40 degrees. And our babies and the families that are under the sun and they're not into a shelter. So first of all, we demand from the local authorities to open all the closed buildings inside the cities for the refugees. The second thing we demand is free health for all the refugees. You know, in Greece we have a big problem in hospitals. It's harder than working in a factory if you're a doctor or a nurse in a Greek hospital because of the cuts. So the doctors of the anti-capitalist left and Kerfa are trying to combine their battle against the cuts and the rescue of the public hospital with the refugees. And there were some initiatives that they have to continue. Workers from the hospitals going to the concentration camps in order to examine the refugees, but it was such a small thing, because for 6 hours that they were there, they managed to examine only 40 refugees, and there are hundreds of refugees. So what we demand is to open the hospitals for the refugees to go whenever they want, and not by 10 o'clock in the night, because if you are out by 10 o'clock in the night, the concentration camp and the police and the army is going to close the camp, and the refugees won't be able to go back. And the third thing is free education. It is amazing the amount of the children that came in Greece. When you're going to a concentration camp, you can see all the ages of small kids playing into very brutal circumstances. And what we did, it was an initiative from the teachers of Kerfa into their schools to open the issue about children that should be written in the Greek schools as equal as the Greek children. And we had the first great victory. We had the first great victory for that. We managed to press the Minister of Education, and he decided, he made an agreement that from the 1st of September, the children of refugees are going to be in the Greek schools. And so this is a very big deal of how we're going to continue. So, in order to complete the first issue about the refugees, we believe that the key in all this situation is the workers' movement. How the workers and their unions are going to have how they're going to organize this battle with their own demands against austerity and what the IMF, the Euro, the ECB, Troika wants to pass with the sign of the third memorandum in Greece. And the second thing I want to say is that this situation and this racist policies is what is helping the fascists and the Nazis in Europe. We have bad examples of the fascist threat growing in some countries in Europe. For example, Austria. Now there's going to be the second round of the elections, and there's a threat that a fascist is going to be in the government. In France, I know it's not the same as it used to be with Marine Le Pen and National Front, but it is a threat. It is still a threat. And in Germany, Pegida, the Islamophobic organization, tried to push out the refugees in a hard way when they tried to get in. And in Greece, we have Golden Dawn. The Nazis, the Nazi criminal organization that tried to reappear in the streets after the massive flow of refugees coming in Greece. And, okay, I won't be long. And actually, it was from the beginning the racist policy of the governments that helped the Nazis. Since 2012, the first time they got into the parliament, and they thought they would be the big example in Europe with the 7% they took in order to get into the parliament. The base was the racist politics of the New Democracy, PASOK, and now, unfortunately, from the new left government of Syriza. And now the thing that is different, it is a big example for all the anti-fascist movements in Europe, is that in Greece, we managed to have the leadership and the 68 members of the Nazis on trial because of the murder of the rapper, the anti-racist and anti-fascist rapper, Pavlos Fyssas. And we are the only country that this is in Europe. It was a success. It is an example. We don't know what is going to happen with the trial, but we believe that we can win this battle. And that happened not the lately years. It happened because all the 90s and even the 2000s, we always insisted, our party, the anti-capitalist left, the revolutionary left, that there is a threat from the Nazis, and we have to stop them into the neighborhoods. There were thousands of demonstrations in the streets when the Nazis tried to appear, when an MP was trying to make a speech, or they were trying to make a gathering, hate gathering against Albanians or against Muslims, as they try to do now. But the strongest thing was in 2013, the massive explosion of the anti-fascist movement after Pavlos Fyssas' murder. What happened is that for 3 days, we were demonstrating in the center of Piraeus, in the center of Athens, and a few days later, it was the first time that the unions, the main trade unions, called for a strike, a political strike, against the Nazis. That day we demonstrated almost 80,000 people demonstrating to the main headquarters of the Golden Dawn. It was amazing, and after a few days, they were forced to put them in prison. So now in Greece, we have this fight because they tried to reappear after the refugees coming. They tried to organize something like a campaign against the invasion, as they say, the invasion of the refugees, and against the Islamization of our country. And what happened is nothing. Even though they tried to pogrom and go into the camps of the refugees. The unions, the students, the anti-fascist movement stopped them and did absolutely nothing. But we know that we're not done with the fascists. And unfortunately, Syriza government, it's a shame. I will explain what is doing. See, the government wants to make a constitutional change, and Tsipras said that we need 300 MPs to vote for this constitution change. It's an electoral change that they want to pass. And they argue that the Nazis' vote is illegal. They want the Nazis' vote. And what we say, what the anti-fascist movement says, is that they're not a legal party. We have to be clear. It's not a party, it's an organization. They are murderers, they are Nazis, they love Hitler, they are enemies of our class. So what we're trying to do with the trial, inside and outside the court, every week, is to have people from the unions, people from the other left, with a very united fronted work we are trying to do with Kerfa. All the left parties have to be in this trial in order to demand that the end of this trial is going to be the forever, the life sentence, not only of the murder of Pavlos Fyssas, but for all the leadership and for all the criminal organization. And we believe that we can do it with the international help of the movement. So when I'm hearing that in Melbourne they tried to have a branch and there was an anti-fascist movement that stopped it, it's very hopeful for us in Greece. So comrades, we know it's difficult, it's not an easy fight we are giving, but I want to end that we have many fights to give. When we go back in Greece, we have a really hot anti-fascist September. We have a 3-day anti-fascist action. It's the 3 years of the murder of Pavlos Fyssas. The first day we're going to demonstrate, the second day his family and his friends are organizing a festival which is called Rap Monsters Festival against the Nazis. And the third day, it's the trial of Golden Dawn. On the 15th and the 16th of October, we're going to have in the national meetings of Kerfa, We are doing it every year lately. You're all invited to join in Greece, the 15th and the 16th of October. And to end, I believe that it's very hopeful that you here against Pauline Hudson, you're having this battle against Islamophobia. It's very good that you're having the demonstration on the 27th of August. And believe me, the eyes in Greece are going to be these days in Australia, in Melbourne, in Sydney, wherever you're demonstrating. So together, it's in the national fight against racism and fascism. We can do it, comrades. So.